Well, hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. It's a great day in America. Sunny, beautiful day on a Sunday. I'm about to go out and enjoy a little bit of a ride on my old Fatboy here. Speaking of Fat Boys, it's about that time of year where Harley Davidson rolls out their Icon model. This year, since it's the 35th anniversary of the Fatboy, they're going to do a special edition Fatboy model. So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. If you look at their social media on their website, it's got kind of a silhouette picture of the bike. It's looks to me like the outlines anyway are pretty much your normal standard Fat Boy of today, which makes sense, I guess. They're probably going to put some special paint on it. I think they say the Gray Ghost is coming back, which was the very first 1990 Fat Boy. It was all silver frame, silver paint job. I think it had some yellow or orange highlights on the rocker box covers, that sort of thing. So I don't know if that's going to be what they're going to do this time, if it'll just be a standard bike with maybe a silver frame, silver paint, with some highlights on the rockers and other bits. Probably be a really cool looking bike. I'm a little bit concerned. I think the new Fat Boys right now, just the stock one's about $23,000 or so. Um, Limited edition, I'm going to guess maybe 25, 27. You used to buy a really slick Street Glide for that kind of money, so I'm not sure that's really a market spot I want to be in, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Just let me know in the comments. I wonder sometimes about all the gadgets and things that they're putting on these bikes. You know, a lot of folks complained that the new, I think they call it the Street Glide Ultra, that's got the touring pack and the lowers. Those things are very expensive, and they don't put the rear speakers in and some of the extra things that used to come standard on that ultra limited style platform. Um, I don't know. They do have a lot of really neat gadgets and gizmos, all the infotainment stuff, which is pretty cool. The different bike riding modes. I've never ridden a motorcycle that has a specific riding mode. There's a car driving by. We'll let that go by. I've never ridden a Harley or any kind of motorcycle that's got selectable riding modes. I have ridden several bikes that have ABS. I think that's pretty cool. ABS is probably a pretty handy thing to have on a motorcycle. I don't know that it's ever saved my life, but I have hit the brakes hard enough that I've engaged the ABS on occasion. So maybe it has saved my life. As far as different riding modes for rain and that sort of thing, I don't know if that's, maybe these new bikes make so much torque that you need something to sort of tune it down a little bit when you get into some slick spots. But I don't know. I've been riding about 45 years now, and have to say that never really ridden a motorcycle that had drive modes, selective drive modes. I've had some automobiles that have selective drive modes, and to be honest, I've never changed them out of the standard, whatever going up and down the road mode there is. Um, so I don't know. I'm wondering if they could get away from some of those computerized gadgets and build a more affordable motorcycle that would be just as cool, and maybe give the customer more of what they want rather than an overpriced bike that possibly has a lot of gizmos and gadgets that you're never really going to use, but you're paying for when you buy that thing. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. The other thing is, what do you think of the new Fat Boys? When they first came out, I didn't really care for them. I'll have to say that. But they have grown on me over the years. It's not a bad looking motorcycle. I used to say that about Ford pickup trucks. Every time Ford would redesign their truck, I would say, man, that thing's ugly. And then in about 2 years, it would kind of grow on you, and you'd think, yeah, that's not a bad looking old truck. So maybe it'll be the same way with the Fat Boy. I wonder what they're going to do with this Gray Ghost edition, what that's going to look like. Um, I wonder what it's going to be priced like. I wonder how it'll sell. Everybody's talking about Harley, and are they going out of business, and the direction that the corporate office is taking, and that sort of thing. I guess there's some talk about trying to turn the company around, going back to their old values, which is probably a good thing. I think America as a whole right now is probably looking at itself and saying, hey, wait a minute, let's get back to some basic values and pride in our country and that sort of thing. So, um, maybe it'll be a good thing. Harley's been around for what? We're coming up on just past, I guess, 120 years. That's a pretty long time for any sort of a single company, especially one that makes motorcycles. It's the last remaining American motorcycle company. I guess you could argue that Indian's American. I'm not sure if that's true. I think they're owned by Bombardier, and I think that's a Canadian company, but man, I may have that all wrong. You can let me know in the comments. But great motorcycles, Indians. They're, I think competition is a good thing, no matter what industry. Uh, having a competitor for Harley is probably a good thing. It makes them make better products, so that's probably a good thing as well. It's what America's all about, based on competition, right? So let me know what you think. Do you like the new Fat Boys? What do you think the new Gray Ghost is going to be like? What do you think it'll be priced? What's your thoughts on whether or not we should maybe turn back some of the uh, driver assist aids and gizmos and gadgets that are possibly driving the price of these bikes up, and go back to some basic motorcycles that we could afford to own and customize and then ride and have fun and enjoy? Overall, I'm not going to say anything bad about the new Harleys. I don't have the financial reason or desire to go buy one right now. They're a little bit pricey for my age, honestly. I don't know how much longer I'll be riding, as long as I can, but I don't see spending another 20, 30,000 bucks on a motorcycle that, I'm just not going to ride as much as I used to, especially when I've got two of them in the barn right now that are paid for and they get me anywhere I need to go and do it comfortably and in style. So I don't really know that I need a new bike. It'd be nice, always nice to have one. Those new motors, that new Milwaukee 8 with the variable valve timing, I think is a hoss of an engine. It's probably going to outperform, or it's a hoss of an engine. And, I'm sure it's a lot of fun to ride, but, how fast do you need to go? Both of these bikes will get me plenty of speeding tickets, and neither one of them make the kind of horsepower that Milwaukee 8 makes. But the Milwaukee 8's a lot smoother. It's counterbalanced. There's a lot of good benefits to it. This old Evo here, it shakes and vibrates and makes noise, and that's honestly part of the fun to me anyway. And this little old twin cam, I bought it from the original owner. Uh, it's a 2014. I bought it in 2022, and it literally had 650 miles on it. He took it on one little short trip and parked it in the shop, and it set out in his shop for the next however long that was, 8 years, I guess. Um, and so I brought it home with 624 miles on it, put a battery in it, gave it a good bath, and it's been a fun little bike. I've taken some road trips on it, been to Iowa and back, and had a couple of good trips on it. Plan to put a lot more on it. It's only got about, I think the last time I looked was about 7,000 miles on it, so it's not even broke in yet. So I don't see a new bike in my future. There's a big marketplace out there of used bikes that are often low miles. Um, so, there's plenty of fun all the way around, regardless of what kind of money you want to spend. As far as the 35th anniversary Fatboy, I'm not real sure that I would be interested in paying the premium that you're probably going to have to pay for that thing just for a custom paint job, especially if it's nothing more than a standard um, Fatboy underneath. Some of those other, I guess they're legacy or legendary bikes, legend bikes, I think they call them. Last year they had um, an Electra Glide, or year before last was the Electra Glide, and last year was a soft tail version of the old rigid that you'd see back in the 50s. And those are kind of cool looking bikes. They're styled to look like a different era. Um, their base platform for that motorcycle is a motorcycle that lends himself to that, the old Road King, or the soft tail classic. Both of those lend themselves to um, that nostalgic look. Trying to make a brand new style 2025 Fatboy look like a 1990s Fatboy is going to be a little more difficult, I think. Making a Gray Ghost out of possibly a Heritage Classic model. Golly, flies are terrible out here today. Um, Maybe making a Gray Ghost out of a Heritage Classic that's stripped down, so it's still got a little more of that basic nostalgic Harley design. Maybe that's what they're looking at. If you look at the silhouette on their webpage, though, it looks like the new fat tired enclosed cowling headlight Fatboy. So, uh, what do you think? What should they have done, or what do you think they will do for this Gray Ghost Fatboy that they're going to release? Let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Click like and subscribe if you want to come back. Thanks.